morning everyone. Today we are on the last of second session of class 8 history, chapter 1, when, where and how. In this particular chapter, in our last video, we have seen that this is a particular chapter in which we are going to learn about the time frame of history. How in past, how we divide time in history. We have seen that there are different methods through which we can divide time frame in history or in past. That is like J.S. Mill, who is a British historian. He divides Indian history according to the rulers or according to the religion of the rulers who ruled in India, like Muslim rulers, Hindu rulers, and then Britishers. But as he has given the division of time frame work according to the religion of the rulers, it has certain drawbacks because he avoided economic, political development, economic, social and political development in different eras or in different periods in Indian history. So accordingly, we have a accepted time division of history, that is worldwide accepted time division of history, that is ancient period, medieval period and modern period. Ancient period means the period which starts from 17th century. Medieval means it starts from later 18th century, and modern history means it starts after 19th century. So these are the three different periods of history when we wanted to divide different events which occurs in history or different important rulers about different important economic and political changes in our past. So when we talk about Indian history, we can say that colonization is the most important part or most important event in Indian history, because from till 150 years Britishers ruled upon India. So over here when we talk about colonization, first we will see what do we mean by colonization. It refers to the process in which a powerful country controls other politically and economically countries. See, in our history, we can see, in our past, we can see that there are many countries who wanted to increase their kingdom, who wanted to expand their kingdom, and they wanted to gain political power. And to gaining political power, what they do, they started capturing other territories. They started attacking other territories to capture power over there, to capture political power over there. So you can say that is a colonization. Colonization means when one country wanted to capture or ruled upon other country forcefully or by attacking that country. It is called as colonization. Now this colonization can be because of political power or can be because of economic power. Political power means if the country wanted to gain political power, if the country wanted to expand the territory or expand the kingdom, then the ruler will attack other country or other territories to capture those territories to make more economic, to make more political power. Now when we talk about economic benefits, you can see over here in 18th century, when there was an industrial revolution in European countries. On that time, before industrial revolution, they used labor intensive technique for production. That means labor is used for production. But after that, when they introduced machines, when there is a revolution of machines which is called as industrial revolution, production increases. And as their production increases, they require raw materials, more raw materials to produce more, and they also require new markets for trading. That is why European countries, they attracted towards the African countries and Asian countries. And when they went to Asian countries and African countries, they have seen that these countries are very much rich in natural resources, very much rich in raw materials. And when they are selling their commodities in Asian market or in India, on that time they need to pay certain taxes. So for gaining economic benefit, what they have done, they capture India or they capture many other Asian countries so that they can gain economic benefit. So over here we can say that colonization means when any powerful country wanted to capture any other country either for political benefit or either for economic benefit or gaining economic benefit. That is called as colonization. Now when we talk about colonization, first Britishers came to India for the trading purpose. As I have told you, after industrial revolution, many European countries like France, England, Germany, Italy, these are many European countries who wanted more raw materials for producing more, or as they are producing more, they also required new market to sell their commodities. For this, Britishers came to India for trading purposes. But when they came to India, they have seen that India is politically unstable. Because on that time we have Maratha rulers and Mughal emperors in India. And there is a fight or there is a war between Mughal emperors and Maratha rulers. So there is political instability in India. And by taking advantage of that political instability, Britishers capture India for economic benefit. Purely they have an economic benefit because they wanted to use our raw materials, they wanted to use our market at no cost. That is why by taking advantage of political instability, they captured India. Now when we talk about colonization in India, after Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar, Battle of Plassey in 1757 and Battle of Buxar in 1764, after these two great wars or big wars, India transformed into colonial country. That means Britishers totally controlled over India after that. Now when we talk about colonization or when we talk about the division of time frame of history, there are different sources of modern history. Because over here we are talking about the modern history. Now when we talk about modern history, there are different sources through which we can collect information about the history. We can get the knowledge about our past. Now what are those different sources? These sources can be divided into three different categories. That is official records, surveys and other sources. See, before Britishers came to India, you can see in India there is no official records of past or of history. There is no documentation of past or there is no documentation or any information about the past events. But after when Britishers came to India, British administration, they started recording officially everything, each and every policy, each and every plan, each and every treaty and agreement and law which they made. Under British administration records all these plans, policies and treaties. They pen down all these policies and plans, they make a documentation of it, they make a record of it which is called as official record. And in 19th century these documents were printed. See, when Britishers record those documentation, what they done on that time, they try to preserve that documentation. For that what they did, they set up record rooms. They set up many record rooms, many museums where they kept all those documents. And after this, when there is an introduction of printing machines, in 19th century, we tried to print all those documents to preserve them more carefully. So there is a many official records written by Britishers on that time when Britishers are controlling India. On that time, whatever policies, plans, treaties and agreements they have made, they have the official records or official documentation or official files for all those records, all those plans and policies. And after when there is an introduction of printing machines, Indian administration printed all those documents so that we can understand about our past. Then second source is surveys. Nowadays also, if you wanted to have any information, our government conducts many kind of surveys. In that, very important thing is when we talk about census report. Census report means population report. After every 10 years, surveys has been conducted to know that how much population we have in India. How much was our birth rate and how much was our death rate. So this is also called as a survey to get an information that how much population we have. Now this particular census report or census survey has been started by Britishers on that time. So over here we can say that Britishers also conducted many kinds of surveys to know about the condition in our country. And all these surveys, they keep a record of it. So that nowadays also if you wanted to learn anything about the past surveys, you can take those documents to know about it. Like they have conducted revenue surveys to know about the land quality, to know about the quantity of production of the land so that they can get revenue out of it, so that they can get land tax or land revenue. Then geological surveys are there, archaeological surveys are there, forest surveys are there so that they will know how much natural resources we have and what kind of minerals do we have in India. And they have also started census operation after every 10 years to know that how much population was there in India. So this is all about the surveys, and there are many other sources through which we can get information about our past, that is personal diaries. Many of our great leaders are there who has written many personal diaries in which they have written about their times, what important events have been taken place in their times, and they have written all the details about those events. Accounts of pilgrims are there, autobiographies are there. There are many great leaders and famous personalities who have written autobiography. That means they have written about their own life. Like we can say Gandhiji has written about the autobiography, and Rasurani Das, she was the first woman to write autobiography in Bengali, 1876. And Amar Jeevan, the autobiography of Rasurani Das. She is the first woman who has written autobiography, and popular booklets are there, newspapers are there, journals are there, magazines are there, through which we can have a clue about our past. So all these are the sources of modern history which we have. So with this I have completed with this chapter. I hope you have understand this particular chapter. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in comment. Till then, thank you.